My name's Kristen, and I'm going to be the host for tonight. And for those of you who don't know me, let me just stop this here quickly. For those of you who don't know me, or in case we haven't been acquainted, I'm a YFP baby, meaning that I was introduced to Shaklee via the YFP tools and answered an ad way back in 2009 when I was looking for an opportunity that would allow more flexibility and freedom in my life, where I could also make an income, and I was able to build to director using the YFP tools. So now I'm here helping other people who are using YFP to get acquainted with the system and get in a good sync with the process. But enough about me. Let's talk a little bit, well, a lot bit, about our special guest, Barbara. Whoops, there we go. So Barbara, in tonight's live stream, we're going to share, or she's actually going to do the sharing. I'm just asking the questions. How she started her Shaklee business and a bit about her business story, why she chose to join YFP to help her grow, and what's helped her the most with her business, and a few key tips that she could share with others. So here's some amazing pictures of her life with her little grandbaby and her family at convention. And I think, Barbara, I was at that convention as well. That looks like Atlanta.
Yeah. It does.
I'm very excited. Oops, there we go. To introduce Barbara. So she lives in Maine and is a mom of 2 grown children. She has a full-time job working for a nonprofit organization in her community that helps homeless people get back on their feet, or homeless families get back on their feet. She also is working at the local thrift store, and when she's not too busy, she also loves to do gardening and is a volunteer at the local university, and she teaches marine ecology to the school kids and does what's called, I believe it was a floating lab. Is that right, Barbara?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm very excited to hear about that. It sounds like something I'd want to do. So let's just jump into this. Let's get into the good nitty-gritty fun stuff. So let's take a moment to share just a little bit about what your life was like before Shaklee. So you mentioned that you were doing some odd jobs before you discovered Shaklee. So can you share just a little bit about that? What was life like before Shaklee?
Well, I had a degree in outdoor education, and I had been a park naturalist for a number of years. And I just had the birth of my daughter, and we were living in a very small town in Massachusetts that had a water ban. And we found out about it through the weekly paper, which wasn't very cool. And so I started to look for water purifiers. And that's when I saw the ad for Shaklee. And so my initial introduction was to buy a product. And I met this lovely lady, Betty Lutz, who introduced me to Shaklee, and I fell in love with the products right away. And I've just been using the products for many, many years since.
Wow, that's amazing. So that was quite a few years ago, 27 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So you were introduced using the water purifier. When did you start looking at Shaklee as an opportunity? Can you share a little bit of the story behind that?
Well, over the years, it would be introduced to me and I would think about it, but I always had an idea that I would have a career, and I could not see that it was a career for me. And I think that's why I'm sharing this now, and why I'm so energized now, is because I spent so many years working jobs that were long hours for not a lot of pay. And I could kick myself sometimes because I think I would be in such a different position now if I had just believed in myself and done it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's absolutely true. It's that belief part. And when it's not really front of mind, it makes it a little bit trickier to move into that presentation of having a business and moving into that part of what Shaklee provides. So when you were introduced and you were looking more at the opportunity, did you have any preconceived notions about the network marketing industry? Like, what were your thoughts there?
I didn't really. I had never really heard of network marketing, and I was so taken by the products themselves and Dr. Shaklee's philosophy that being an environmentalist and myself, I immediately bought into the product. So the idea of network marketing just it didn't bother me at all. It was something I needed to learn about. And so I really just used products over these, 20 or so years, with my family, the supplements, the water purifiers, pretty much. I think I've used pretty much every product in the line. And it just, so network marketing was not something that was an adverse reaction for me. It wasn't until I started talking to other people and heard them, question about it, that I was like, oh, why are they questioning it? It just seems so logical to me,
Yes, that's really cool. That's really
Yeah.
cool. So when you were looking at starting the business, I know there was a specific reason that you were looking at why you wanted to start, and it has to do with retirement. So if you could share a little bit
Yeah.
about your plans with this business.
Yeah, I think when I reached my 50s, I started thinking, what is my retirement going to look like? And I realized that the jobs that I had and the jobs that I had were not going to fulfill my retirement dreams. I wanted to travel. I wanted to do things with, go places with my husband. I wanted to help take care of my kids and be there for them whenever they needed me. So that's when I really started to step back and look at it a little more seriously, and why haven't I looked at this, more seriously before? So that's when I discovered YFP. And I think for me, it offered a way of doing the business while working a full-time job so that I could transition into it. And that's when it began, is a few years ago.
Yes. And because you do marketing in your business, you kind of get to see firsthand
I do.
how strenuous it can be to set all of that stuff up and create the content. So share a little bit about how using the tools has made your life easier.
Well, like you said, in my current job, I do use all the social media platforms to promote what I do there, and so I see how much work it is. And what I find with YFP is that I don't have to worry about the content or the technology in the back. It's like a college education is there for you, and you just have to tap into it. You don't have to learn everything. It's just there for you when you need it. And so it's really amazing, because at my other job, there have been times where either the website's down, or for some reason, Facebook, you can't upload pictures or content, or for whatever reason. I never have to worry about that with YFP, because you guys all just figure it out for us. If there's an issue, we just email an elf and you guys take care of it. And it's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that support is so critical, especially when it comes to tech side things. Because I mean, really, I don't really want to be a programmer. I'm not sure about you, but I'm pretty sure you don't want to be a programmer either, right? There's a lot that goes into it. So having that team that you can plug into who has the knowledge, and then we can focus on doing what we do, which is build relationships with people. So in starting your business, you started more looking for customers. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. And, and I, converted a lot of family members to the products and friends and such. And then I realized that I really just wanted to build a team. I want a tribe of women or families or whatever that want to join us. And because it's so important to help others. Because as I started looking back on it, I realized if I had done this years ago, not that my kids growing up was bad, it certainly wasn't. It was great. But it would have been so much different, and we could have done a lot more travel. And so I see that now, and I see other young Shaklee folks, doing that and traveling with their families, and that's what I want to offer others. So I'm trying to build a team and a group of people that are interested in doing that for themselves.
Oh, and that's so beautiful. And what I love most about you saying that, Barbara, is how you're really there and your mission is to help others get that. And having that service side, which I find is so prevalent in this industry as well. What are your thoughts on that service end of things?
Yeah, I think, from when I started to talk to people about it and they did hear network marketing. I think at first some people had an adverse reaction to it. But I realized, like you said, I've been doing the service industry for years, and this is just another extension of it, that we're just here offering an alternative way to live your life, which offers you so much more. And so it's just a great platform for giving people a different way to live their life that allows them to grow personally and grow financially and be healthy. I mean, there's just so many things out there in the world that take from us. And this is all about giving. And it's great. I love it.
Oh, that's so beautiful. So beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. So now you're focusing more on building a team, and and you shared what you feel, that this is your year for you and your team, which is really exciting. So can you share a little bit about what's your daily routine when it comes to doing your Shaklee business to make that happen?
Well, that's where the YFP has been so key, because I do work full time, and sometimes on my off days I get called in, and so it is really hard to prioritize. But with what you guys have laid out, it's very easy for me to have my tasks that I can do each morning before I go to work. Or if I'm home, I have a list of things, like I might do 1 hour of social media. I might contact 2 or 3 people, either text, phone, or email, whichever works for them. I might go out in the community and do some errands, and in the meanwhile put up a flyer or meet a few people to talk to, or do appointments out in the community. And then, a lot of it is education too, like at night, spending time like this, watching a webinar, learning about wellness issues. So it's ongoing, but I think the difference is that I really try to make sure I plan some off time for myself, because I am working full time and I don't want to get burned out. And interestingly enough, even though I'm doing a lot of it online, I'm spending less time online because of you guys. So I'm really not on, social media constantly. It's just to check in with people and do things like that.
Yeah, do your check-in, engage with those who've engaged with you, the stuff we're supposed to be doing, the socializing part, where you're not having to work so hard on putting together the content, creating the graphics, and yes, that has been a big game changer for sure, being able to utilize YFP for taking over some of that bulk stuff, so that we can actually have more time. And I'm sure you've noticed a big difference in that, as you said, being able to schedule that off time so that you can relax and rejuvenate, especially working full time. So now you've been a YFP member for quite some time. You've been with us since 2014.
Yep.
How did you find out about YFP?
It's funny. Elaine asked me that, and I can't honestly remember. I remember connecting with Jody when he was initially just doing some very simple, promotions online. And I had tried to do like the home party route and, all that kind of stuff. And I just didn't have the time. And so I was thinking of how can I get the word out about, this company I'm trying to do. So that's what attracted me to it. So when I found it, I just jumped in, and I've just been spending time here and there learning more about it. And what the tools that he's laid out now are just incredible. So I'm really pumped.
It's a really exciting time. And with all the new things too that we have planned out, which you were on the roadmap for 2020. So you get to see a sneak peek of what we're working on.
Yep.
When it comes to YFP, you did share a little bit about what motivated you to start using the tools, which of course helps you free up some time, and the quality of the tools that we have. So what's your favorite part, or what do you like best about YFP?
Well, I think, number one, the fact that we have a system where if someone is interested in doing the business, then we can easily walk them through and explain it. Because I think previously it was always so hard. There was so many different things coming from the company that it was really hard to know what route to take somebody, the best way for them to learn about the business.
Mm-hmm.
And so the classrooms that we have set up now are great because it just covers from A to Z. We're right up front and honest about, everything that we have to offer. And then if they're interested, they're interested. If they're not, then maybe they want product or, not. But it just really is a great path for someone to learn for free, which is what I love about it, because so many of these promotional things that you see out there for other companies, it's like you have to sign up to learn, and you don't have that freedom to make the choice without giving monetary value to it. So this is great. And then secondly, I would say the wellness project is amazing, because as somebody who's learning about the products as we go, I mean, I've used a lot of them, but all the articles, the heavy research that goes into them, it's just amazing the wealth of knowledge that we have at our fingertips when a customer has a question.
It is. And the other thing too that takes away is then you don't have to be the complete expert. We can guide people to the resources that would share that info, because to be an expert in all of the products we have and all the nutrition and health and wellness, that's that's a whole 6-year course in itself. So being able to rely, and be able to lean on that a little bit. So that's fantastic. So how has YFP helped you when it comes to, say, your business in regards to confidence and the structure and your strategy and follow-up? How has that changed how you present yourself and your presence, whether it be in social media or even in physical situations?
Well, I think, when I was first starting out, because there was no platform for and what YFP, with the branding and the websites that they do for us, and the Facebook pages and such, it gives you this confidence that we always tell people, you need to have confidence and you need to be in the moment and present yourself as if you're already there. Well, you feel like you're already there because you have these professional Facebook pages and Instagram pages and connections with LinkedIn and all these different things. So you are professional before you even feel it, and it's amazing. And so it just gives you the confidence to be able to go out and talk to somebody, because you can direct them to a place where they can find answers, learn about the business, and you don't have to be everything to everybody. It's great.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Makes all the difference when you have that place where you're proud of the content that's there, and you feel comfortable being able to be like, you know what, check this out. And it's in good quality and offers exactly what they need. Makes all the difference. So let's move on to some growth tips. So when you first started, now you did mention like the in-home parties and finding people as some of the big hurdles, but did you find any other hurdles that were very struggling or very challenging when it came to growing your business?
Yeah, I mean, I think what I touched on earlier about, like, you're always told, that you have to act like you are there and be present with people. And if you're not feeling it, you're just not there. And so I think that was a big struggle for me. It was hard for me to do a home party, or hard for me to, present myself, because I just wasn't quite there. But now, with all these tools that I have at my fingertips, and the way the internet, I think, came in the last 10 years for us has really been, I mean, at first it was great because you got information, but then it was hard because not all the information was right. And so now I feel like we are poised to really move forward, because we have these tools, and it's just going to allow us to overcome those hurdles that were in our way before.
Yep, I completely agree. And then if you were to talk to somebody who's brand new builder getting started, what is one tip that you would share with them that you wish you had when you started?
Don't wait, and don't let what others tell you deter you from it. I felt right in my gut when I first started. I mean, the products, Dr. Shaklee, his philosophy, it all made sense. but I just couldn't picture myself doing the business. And I think I was thinking at it from a sales point of view.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not sales. And that's why I love it now. It's just about educating people. People are thriving for real knowledge about their health.
Mm-hmm.
They really want to know how to fix their health. And so now we have the ability to just give them the knowledge for them to take on their own health and be their own health advocate. And we just supply the tools and the products for them. And it's great.
That's excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that, Barbara. And I want to just take a minute to thank you for being so brave and coming on and sharing your story. Because, you know, there's somebody out there who's in the exact same position and needed to hear what you had to say. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing. Very, very much appreciate it.
And Kristen, it's never too late. My uplines, when I met Betty, they didn't start their business till they were retired at 60. And they're now in their 90s and healthy beyond compare. So it's never too late.
No, and that's a very good point to bring in too. So if you're concerned about that, you know, some of the most beautiful things can happen after retirement, and don't let that stop you, because there's been many stories of people who started well after retirement who have created amazing lives for themselves, and not only for themselves, but for their family too, to enjoy as it gets passed down. So thank you. Thank you for adding that little note in, because I totally forgot.
Thank you.
So thank you again, everybody, for watching the live stream and for joining us tonight. Thank you again, Barbara, for sharing your story. It's been an absolute pleasure. And we will see you all later on this week. Take care, everybody.
Thank you, Chris.